The deeper Theseus traveled, the quieter the labyrinth became. Even his own footsteps seemed swallowed by the stone walls. Then he saw it. At first, only a shadow, a massive shape moving between the pillars. The creature was larger than any man. Its shoulders were broad as a doorway. Muscles rolled beneath its skin. Two enormous horns curved upward from its head. Its eyes glowed with savage intelligence. The Minotaur. For a moment, neither moved. The monster stared at the young prince. The prince stared back. Then the beast charged. The ground shook beneath its weight. Theseus leaped aside just as a horn smashed into the stone wall. Fragments exploded through the air. The Minotaur turned instantly, far faster than its size should have allowed. Its fist struck Theseus across the chest. Pain erupted through his body. He crashed against the floor and nearly lost the sword. The monster roared, a sound like thunder trapped underground. Again, it attacked. Again, Theseus dodged, but each movement brought him closer to exhaustion. The creature was stronger, larger, more powerful. If he fought like an ordinary man, he would die. So he waited, watched, studied, and slowly, he noticed something. The Minotaur fought with rage. Not strategy, not patience. Rage. And rage could be used against it. The battle continued through the twisting halls. Stone cracked, dust filled the air. Again and again the monster charged. Again and again Theseus narrowly escaped. Each miss made the beast angrier. Each failure blinded it further. Finally, Theseus saw his chance. The Minotaur lowered its head and launched forward with all its strength. At the last possible moment, Theseus stepped aside. The creature crashed directly into a stone pillar. The impact shook the entire chamber. The pillar shattered. The Minotaur staggered, dazed. For the first time, it was vulnerable. Theseus did not hesitate. He rushed forward. The sword flashed, once, twice, a third time. The monster roared in agony. Then silence. Slowly, the Minotaur collapsed onto the stone floor. The nightmare that had haunted Crete for generations was over. The beast did not move again. Breathing heavily, Theseus stood above the fallen creature. For a moment he could hardly believe it. The impossible had been done. The Minotaur was dead. Yet victory was not complete. The labyrinth still surrounded him. And somewhere within its endless corridors, 13 frightened Athenians were waiting. Theseus picked up Ariadne's thread. The thin line stretched through the darkness like a path of light. Then he began following it home. The thread led Theseus through the twisting corridors like a lifeline. Turn after turn, he followed it through the darkness. At last, he found the others. The frightened Athenians looked up as he emerged from the shadows. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then someone noticed the blood on his sword. Another saw the determination in his eyes. "The Minotaur," one whispered. Theseus nodded. "It's dead." Silence filled the chamber. No one seemed able to believe the words. The monster that had haunted generations. The beast that had devoured countless lives. Gone. Then joy erupted. Some cried, some laughed. Others simply collapsed in relief. For the first time in years, hope had entered the labyrinth. Quickly, Theseus gathered them together. "There isn't much time," he warned. "Follow the thread." The group moved carefully through the maze. At every turn, Ariadne's thread guided them. Without it, they would have been lost forever. Finally, a faint glow appeared ahead. Daylight, the entrance, freedom. One by one, they stepped out of the labyrinth. The curse of Crete had finally been broken. But victory created a new danger. King Minos would never forgive what had happened. His monster was dead. His power had been challenged. If Theseus remained on Crete, he and the Athenians would surely be executed. That night, Ariadne secretly met them at the harbor. The moonlight shimmered across the sea. A ship waited quietly in the darkness. "You must leave now," Ariadne said. "There will be soldiers searching for you by dawn." Theseus looked at her. Without Ariadne, none of this would have been possible. The sword, the thread, the chance to escape. Everything had come from her courage. "Come with us," he said. For a moment, Ariadne hesitated. Leaving meant abandoning her family, her home, everything she had ever known. Yet staying would mean losing Theseus forever. At last, she stepped aboard the ship. The sails were raised, the ropes were cut. As the vessel slipped into the darkness, the lights of Crete slowly disappeared behind them. For the first time in her life, Ariadne was free. And for the first time, Theseus allowed himself to imagine a future beyond battle. Neither knew how quickly fate would shatter that dream. Several days later, the ship stopped at the island of Naxos. The travelers were exhausted. Food supplies needed replenishing. Everyone welcomed the chance to rest. That evening, Ariadne walked along the shore. The sea breeze carried away the memories of fear and bloodshed. For the first time since leaving Crete, she felt at peace. She fell asleep beneath the stars, and when morning came, Theseus was gone, the ship was gone, the harbor was empty, only the waves remained. Ariadne stared in disbelief. At first, she thought it was a mistake. Surely they would return. Surely there was some explanation. But hours passed, then more. No ship appeared on the horizon. She had been abandoned. Even today, ancient stories disagree about what happened. Some claim Theseus betrayed her. Others say the gods commanded him to leave. Some legends tell that the god Dionysus later found Ariadne and made her his wife. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The woman who had saved Theseus never saw him again, and the hero carried on without realizing the sorrow he had left behind. The voyage home continued. Athens waited across the sea. The surviving youth celebrated. The nightmare was over. The Minotaur was dead. Soon they would see their families again, but amid the relief and excitement, something important slipped from Theseus's mind. A promise. Before leaving Athens, he had sworn to his father that he would change the ship's sails if he survived. The black sails represented death. The white sails would signal victory. King Aegeus had waited for that sign every day. Each morning, he climbed the cliffs overlooking the sea. Each evening, he returned disappointed. Still, he hoped. Still, he watched. Then one day, a ship appeared on the horizon. Aegeus rushed to the edge of the cliffs. His heart pounded. His son was finally coming home. But as the vessel drew closer, he saw something that shattered him. The sails were black, the same black sails that had departed Athens weeks before. Aegeus felt the world collapse around him. To him, there could be only one explanation. Theseus was dead. His son was gone. His heir was gone. His hope was gone. Overcome with grief, the old king stepped forward and threw himself into the sea below. By the time the ship reached Athens, the tragedy had already occurred. Crowds gathered at the harbor. The survivors were welcomed as heroes. Families embraced their children. Tears of joy filled the city. Then Theseus learned what had happened. His father was dead. For a long moment, he could not speak. The forgotten sails. The promise he had failed to keep. A single mistake had cost a life. The life of the man who had loved him most. The victory over the Minotaur suddenly felt far less glorious. The sea into which King Aegeus had fallen became known as the Aegean Sea. A name that remains to this day. A reminder of both triumph and loss. Theseus would eventually become one of the greatest heroes of Athens. His adventures would be celebrated for centuries. Songs would be written about his courage. Stories would praise his strength. Yet the tale of the Minotaur was never merely a story about defeating a monster. It was a story about choices, a king whose greed created a curse, a princess whose kindness saved strangers, a hero who entered darkness to free the innocent, and a father who waited for a sign that never came. The Minotaur died in the Labyrinth, but the tragedy did not end there, because in Greek mythology, victory often carries a price. And sometimes the hardest monsters to escape are not the ones waiting in the dark, but the mistakes we carry home with us. The end.